Hello everybody, I'm John Reed.
And I'm Wolf. Me and John Ree have been trying to come up with entertaining videos for the Brony community.
We're basically taking the Cutie Mark Crusaders approach to this one.
We also made My Little YouCaps. You can find it on this channel as well. One of our favorite things about the fandom is the artwork. There's a lot of really talented people on Equestria Daily's Draw Friends.
Although we don't like simple poses as much, we can definitely appreciate the time, effort, and detail that goes into a lot of these. So, we've gathered a collection of artwork from Equestria Daily's Draw Friends and DeviantArt and sorted them into a series of top 10s. Today's episode is about Best Pony, Twilight Sparkle.
Of course you'd say that.
Yes, I would. So, you may be wondering what criterion we use to determine what is good and what is bad. Mainly, we rate pieces higher for being more intricately detailed, conveying a scene, or creating an emotional response.
Yeah, you would have a lot of emotional responses to Twilight Sparkle.
Why do you keep saying that?
Nothing. Go on.
Whatever. Anyway, we'll also rate an image down for not having a background or a setting. Basically what we look for is a detailed image that doesn't just show the character, but tell a story.
Yeah, you talk too much. Let's just get on with the art. Number 10, A Part of the Elements by Puzzle of Life.
A symbolic image, but not a very cryptic one. Each of the gemstones obviously represents one of the different elements of harmony. Twilight is the one that holds them all together in the center. Given how she's lying down, looks as though she's being weakened by their responsibility.
She looks like a spinner.
What?
It looks like she's on some kind of spinner. And her horn is the pointer. Let's spin her around and see which fringe she lands on. It's the Wheel of Shipping. Whee! Whee! Woo! Yahoo! Yay! Oh, Celestia, I'm dizzy.
Anyway, I do like the attention to detail in the gemstone settings and on Twilight's face. She's definitely feeling something, be it exhaustion or concentration, but I really can't tell which.
It doesn't really help that there's no background on this one, so it does still rate kind of low. The next one is even less subtle about symbolism, but does represent a scene much better. Number 9, Where Can I Find the Elements? By Chad Rocco.
It's more the same symbolism as before, but the image itself is more detailed. Although, Applejack's apples do seem kind of forced in the bottom corner.
I don't think it's forced. Those apples look like they're hanging from a tree.
From a tree? Those are hills. Look at the way they're curving. Besides, there's no branches.
Yeah, but I just assume it's a tree from Sweet Apple Acres.
Well, we're a little conflicted on this one. But I would argue that if the viewers can clearly identify what's in the image, that's a fault. Everything else I like, though, including the other items that represent the as-yet undiscovered elements. I even like how he kept Twilight's heavy outline, just like in the show.
Found them!
Found what?
The elements, since we were looking for them.
How did you... Never mind. Just put that back when we're done.
Okay. And don't worry, guys. Not all of these reuse that same symbolism motif. The next one goes in a different direction. A really different direction. Number 8. Timeless Twilight by Kazim. Kazamu? Kazub? Kazib? Kazaa?
I don't think that's actually enunciable. Let's just go with KZKSM. The detailing here is gorgeous. That has a lot to do with the medium. Instead of using a drawing program to fill in solid colors, the artist's use of colored pencils here adds an extra layer of texture. I love the specks of sand and the engravings on the frame of the hourglass.
I'm just wondering how she got in there, and how she's planning to get back out. Also, why is her tail turning into pixie dust?
It's a visual metaphor. Twilight is trapped, scared, and maybe even ashamed. Look, she's turning away from the camera and crying. Her tail is the falling sand. It's like she's being depleted or drained for some reason.
Fascinating. What do you suppose that is?
I have no idea.
What? After all that symbolism and metaphor, you got nothing?
I really haven't the slightest idea what's going on here. It's very pretty to look at, and it's very evocative. But even the artist admits that there's no real meaning behind it. Not intentionally, anyway.
Ooh, I got the meaning!
Really? By all means, enlighten us.
Twilight Sparkle is best hourglass!
Works for me.
Number 7, Twilight's Imagination by Saturn Space.
I love the detail in this one. I love the frost around the edges. I love the detailing in Twilight's hair. You can practically see the chilling wind blow by. I have one problem with it, though, that makes me want to rate it a bit lower than it should. Twilight is alone in this image. When Clover the Clever summoned that energy into play, she was surrounded by her friends. In fact, it was because of Private Pansy and Smart Cookie that she pulled that trick off.
I don't know. I see something entirely different here. This makes me think that Twilight is some kind of psychic, and she sees that symbol in the future. It looks like she's predicting some kind of great split. That's why she looks so serious.
A great split? But that symbol is supposed to represent the power of friendship, not separation. It's the power of the three pony races uniting for the first time in history.
Yeah, but what is a symbol? It only represents what people think it represents.
No, it represents a particular meaning. The ice, Twilight in a burlap cloak, that heart, they're all symbols from Hearthwarming Eve.
True, but looking at this image on its own, they seem to represent something else. The jagged lines and the hearts look like they're being pulled apart by some mysterious force, not coming together.
Well, there you go then. I guess we can both just look at this differently.
I've had enough of all this symbolism and metaphor anyway. Let's move on to something a bit more straightforward, shall we? Number 6 is Childhood by...
Oh dear Celestia, I think I'm gonna cry.
By CLK300. Are you okay?
This is just about the most tragic thing I've ever seen. Putting aside the fact that Smarty Pants was just about her only friend at this point in her life, now I'm imagining her being tormented by bullies tearing up her doll.
Well, we don't really know that bullies broke Smarty Pants. It could have been dogs or something. There's no background or anything else going on in this scene to tell us that.
True, but still, just look at that poor filly's face. She doesn't have her cutie mark yet, so she doesn't even have the magical ability to repair it herself. That's why she's stitching it back together by hoof.
I'd imagine she really can't sew very well. I mean, she's not Rarity, so she probably keeps pricking her mouth trying to use that sharp needle.
Exactly. Not only does she have to endure the emotional trauma of having to stitch back together her only friend, who just so happens to be an inanimate object, but the physical pain of being stabbed in the face with a sewing needle.
You see, guys, I told you he gets emotional over Twilight Sparkle. Well, you know, the next one is of Twilight being awesome. That should make you feel better. Number 5, Crest of Friendship is Magic by Slifer the Sky Dragon.
Yeah. See, this is the scene that other image should have been like. There isn't as much detail here, but it at least shows the other two characters, if only the backs of their heads.
Behold, the power of the magic of friendship! Can we help? No.
Yes, well, perhaps they're not actually doing all that much, but at least they're here.
Wait, you're telling me you actually like this one better? After all that talk about symbolism, she's using the wrong symbol. That's the crest of friendship from Digimon.
Also true. However, the crossing of symbols makes this one a parody, so it can get away with that.
Whatever.
What I really like about this one is that it conveys the entire scene. The Wendigos are circling overhead, held at bay by Clover's magic, while Private Pansy and Smart Cookie look on. The detailing, though not quite as powerful as the other one, is still pretty good.
Yeah, but it's still only number 5 on our list. We have plenty more to go, and this next one is going to be 20% more epic. Number 4, Why is Twilight Sparkle by Noan Batim.
This is where we really start getting into the Twilight is a bad thing section of the episode, where she starts throwing magic around like no pony's business. In this piece, she's attained this power through age and experience, as we can tell by the silver streaks in her hair.
She looks like she's about 50-ish, unless she used her magic to slow or stop the aging process entirely, like a lot of wizards do in fiction.
I also noticed that she's wearing that silver star hair clip from the gala dress Rarity made her. If only she was wearing the whole thing. She looked cute in that.
You say she looks cute in anything.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, there's not a whole lot of story being told here. We don't even know what she's channeling all this energy to do.
Maybe she's just making breakfast.
Breakfast?
Sure, if you got that much power at your disposal, wouldn't you use it whenever you could? I command thee, bacon, fry! Cereal, prepare thyself for the torrents of milk, and you there, oranges, line up, for you must now face the peeler. Whoosh!
Well, proper nutrition is important at old age.
See? It makes perfect sense. It's not like we don't see her using advanced magic for mundane things in the show, right?
Also true.
Let's look at one where she's about to use her magic for a more practical purpose. Number 3, Twilight's Battle, by 14biz.
The detailing on this one is awesome. From Twilight's hair to the cracked stone road to the trees in the background. And the lighting is spot on. There's perfect glow effects from her horn, the sun through the trees, and even from the smoldering bronze on that chain. Wait, why is there a chain on her leg?
In the artist's description, it states that she just escaped from prison with Spike's help. These monsters attack her on the way back.
That makes sense. Although, I wonder why she didn't just remove the half-melted part of the chain, instead of just leaving it there to scald her hoof. Come on, Twilight, you're supposed to be the smart one.
I'm wondering where she was imprisoned in the first place. Maybe she was banished from Equestria and then thrown in a dungeon in the place where she was banished to.
One of the things we really tried to look for when putting this list together is an image's ability to tell a story despite just being a snapshot in time. This one does this perfectly. Between lighting and shadows, expressions, and body language, we really get a sense that there's tension in the scene, and not just some characters standing around posing. Although, I can't help but notice her eyes.
Hey, back to the review.
It's just that they're the wrong color. They're amber here when they should be violet.
Okay, we're almost to the end of the show. Let's have one more shot of Twilight being awesome. Number 2. This one is simply called Twilight, by Pony Killer X.
This one is epic. I just love that magic ring around her hooves.
Oh my gosh, she's summoning a demon!
Oh, what now? I don't think Twilight would do that.
Look at the book she's reading! It's a tome of black magic! It's even got a pentagram on the cover! Doesn't she know what she's doing?
I'm certain she does. As I was saying, I really love the magical ring effect that some artists have been using on Twilight and Trixie pieces, especially the ones where the two of them are facing each other. The intricate design of the ring itself is beautiful.
Wait a minute. That's not Twilight's magical ring. It's a portal seal. That's the magical vortex she's going to use to summon the demon into Equestria.
There's no way that's some kind of portal into Pony Hell. I mean, look at it. There's a smiley face right there.
Of course there's a smiley face on it. That's how they keep the demons inside.
Anyway, if I can finish this review, the lighting in this image is beautiful too, even if the perspective seems a little bit off. If Twilight's shadow and the direction of her eyes are a proper indication, that bright spot on the floor should be a lot closer. So, this one has really good detail, tells kind of a story, but doesn't really create an emotional response.
Besides abject terror.
Fine, besides abject terror. But the number 1 slot is one that exemplifies all 3 of these aspects.
Number 1 is an image that, like Wise Twilight Sparkle, shows the character later in her life. Except this one shows her even later than that one did. It's a dramatic scene that even uses background ponies in the best way possible. And that image is One Last Parade by Horowitz Art.
I fell in love with this one the moment I saw it. There's so much going on, I almost don't know where to begin. It depicts a scene where Twilight, very much aged, is being paraded around Ponyville with Spike, who's grown a lot over time, and Celestia, who hasn't aged a day.
It also uses the friends as items metaphor. It's kind of cliche, but there's enough stuff going on at the same time that we can forgive that. But unlike Where Are the Elements, this one takes place in the future. I wonder, where are the others by now? Are they somewhere else in this parade? Have they moved away? Are they gone?
Well, considering that they're all represented as nothing more than items here, I would interpret that as them all having passed away by now.
That seems kinda grim.
Maybe. But just look at Twilight. She doesn't seem sad at all. She still has all the memories of her friends. She's still surrounded by ponies that love and admire her. Even though she knows she's close to the end of her life as well, she's happy and content. I also love Spike and Celestia's expressions here. Celestia seems just as content as Twilight is, but Spike's the one who looks deeply concerned.
Celestia is probably used to all of her students aging and dying by now. She's been around for thousands of years. She must have gone through this hundreds of times.
And the great thing about Spike here isn't just the concern he has for her at this moment, but the fact that he's the one carrying her. If she wanted to, she could have had a chariot of Pegasi carrying her down this road. But no, the safest, the most comfortable place she could possibly be is perched on this dragon's wing and cuddling up to his side.
There's a lot going on here in the background, too. Look up there in the corner. A yellow Pegasus with pink hair? That's gotta be Fluttershy's son. Right next to him is an orange Pegasus. Even though this image was created before Baby Cakes was released, considering we now know that Earth ponies can give birth to unicorns and Pegasi, this one could possibly be Applejack's daughter.
The background pony that really draws my attention is that little pink filly down there. She must be Sparkler's granddaughter. The look of awe and wonder on her face is just like the one Twilight had when she saw Celestia race the sun for the first time. Add to that book she brought along, and this little one must be an inquisitive young pony too. I can only assume that this filly will soon be Twilight's successor as the princess's student. Oh, and the yellow unicorn setting next to her? That stylish hair makes me think that she's Rarity's granddaughter.
Hey look, it's Pinkie Pie.
Wait, what?
She doesn't even look older.
How can she...
But we thought she was...
Because Pinkie Pie.